This Week in Blizz is proudly sponsored by DoghouseSystems.com. If you use the code TWIB at checkout, that's TWIB, you will get double memory on your next Doghouse system. We thank DoghouseSystems.com for their support of This Week in Blizz. And also TweakedAudio.com. Go to TweakedAudio.com for high-performance, noise-reducing earbuds. Use our code TWIB to get 30% off plus free shipping on your next order, and support This Week in Blizz in the process.
Armed and ready. What's up? This week in Blizz.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 52nd episode of This Week in Blizz. I'm Garrett Weinzierl.
I'm Ben Seifel.
And I'm Kyle Ferguson.
And this is the show keeping you up to date on the worlds of Blizzard Entertainment. Guys, it's kind of hard to come into today's episode and be all cheery, happy-go-lucky. Shit's going kind of crazy in our country.
A strange day.
Yeah, it's been really, really odd. So if you're listening and you are in the Boston area, our thoughts and prayers are with you guys. I hope you're all doing okay and that your family's okay. Really, really tough shit going on out there.
Yep. This is terrifying.
It's really freaking scary. It's like we're going into our show today and it's like, man, our show seems stupid considering the gravity of everything that's going on.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Hopefully, hopefully you're just like, well, let's see what's going on with Blizzard. Get my mind off things. So that's, I guess, the best we can do.
Yeah.
So, anyways, other than that, how you gentlemen doing? It's Monday. It's a new week. Playing some video games.
Yeah. Been doing a little bit of that. Mostly working over the weekend, which has been less than fun. But
yeah, you've been busy, man. But your work's cool at the very least, and you got to. It's still work.
Yep.
Yeah. Kyle, how you doing, man? How goes the life of a Zerg with overpowered regenerating mutas?
Widow mines.
Yep, exactly.
Whatever, fly into those, soak some damage, get rid of them, put them on cooldown.
No, I was visiting my family all weekend, so I have had serious groundhog's day. So left Friday right after work, got in last night late, went to bed, and woke up as though it's like bonus Friday for the next 4 days.
Oh, weird.
That is odd. That would throw me off hardcore.
Oh, it does. Well, I had a good time with the family and all, but it was busy. Busy running around, no time for any video games, no time for that crucial board that you need in that slight bit of the Sunday afternoon where you have that panic and you're like, oh my God, Monday's coming. What am I going to do that makes everything awesome? I missed out on that. So and nice. No matter what you do, your bed, you need it. It's not the same as no matter where you sleep.
Yeah.
I don't know how gorillas do it. Because every night they got to go find a new patch of grass and lay that down. I'd always go for the same patch of grass.
I'm not a fan of monkeys or apes, so I've never even considered that. Don't like them. They creep me out.
They're creepy. Bonobos especially. But gorillas are, the normal-ass gorillas, they're really freaky. But like big old silverbacks, I mean, they're practically monsters. They're awesome.
They're pretty much a dark yeti. Let's just throw it out there. Yeah, man. You know what I did to make my weekend awesome was, I had an awesome date night with my girlfriend on Friday, but to be nerdy, this isn't where I get all mushy and crap. No one wants to hear that. I beat BioShock Infinite this weekend, and it was disappointing, actually. I really enjoyed the game. I have to say the ending made me fall out of love with the game. I was so in love with that thing from start to damn near finish. Ending really, really kind of threw a monkey wrench in the whole system for me, but
people in chat disagreeing.
Apparently you don't like well-written things.
Did it trip out?
It's just there's a lot of crazy stuff going on, and they don't set up enough laws for any of it to make any sense. It is so open-ended that you're just like, well, this was all for nothing.
Was it better than Crystal Man Atlas? Because that's a step forward.
Crystal Man Atlas?
What?
Yeah, original BioShock.
Oh, dude, I thought the twist in the original BioShock...
Well, no, I'm not talking about the twist. I'm talking about the ending, a final boss battle.
Oh, yeah. That was stupid. No, yeah, actually, the last like kind of heavy combat scenario is pretty freaking badass. So, props to them. It's really freaking cool. Literally everything up until the closing moments I was on board for. I'm like, okay, digging this, digging that. That looks great. And wow, you dropped the ball.
It's really hard to pace things, particularly in video games, because you want people to be doing stuff all the time. That's the reason you're there. So games like, let's go to Knights of the Old Republic as a good example, because Telos sucks. Anyone who I tell to get into Knights of the Old Republic, the original Xbox or PC game, you have to spend your entire time not as a Jedi at all, stuck on this horrible planet doing side quests, and it is just baloney. But that makes the whole part of becoming a Jedi and the ending that much more fabulous because things are exploding, it's awesome, and you went through this horribly boring part in the beginning. Okay. It pays off.
Okay, all right. I consider myself, at least in the circle of my friends, to be the biggest Star Wars fan. I've never played KOTOR.
It's old now. I mean, I'd like to say it's great, but I'm talking with a lot of nostalgia. The first time I ever played it, I'd had my wisdom team out.
I've gone back and I've replayed parts of it recently, and a lot of parts of it are not great. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I expect.
There's parts where you go, "Oh, really? I have to do what now?"
I actually, to the chat room, it's like, I'll gift you a KOTOR. I have it. I have both on Steam, and I can't get either of them to work with Windows 7. I don't know what the issue is.
Yeah.
But that being said, I also have a ton of more recent games that I'm a little more interested in beating that I haven't even gotten to yet, like Borderlands 2 and The Witcher 2, for that. On that note. Anyways, this isn't the show about what we're playing. That's Campaign Roundtable. Check that out tomorrow. I'm going to just pimp all my other shows. This is the show where we discuss Blizzard, World of Warcraft, StarCraft, Diablo. There's not really any Diablo news this week. But let's get into it, gentlemen. Let's talk World of Warcraft. All right, gentlemen, we have talked with Mists of Pandaria. Going into it, we pretty much knew the end game as far as who we were going to be, who's going to be the big bad for this expansion, and I think we've all been pretty excited for it. Apparently, the beginning of the end is just around the corner. Civil War is breaking out among the Horde come patch 5.3, and this has coming to us officially from Blizzard, not from data mining. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, they should do this more.
Yes, we're getting a first look at the conflict within the Horde.
I mean, the other bad guys have been on the box. This is the first time they've even had to announce a surprise boss, if there was any surprise to be had.
Yeah, well, I find it very interesting because this is a boss who is currently the leader of one of the two factions. So
sure, but he's nuts.
He is. He is batshit crazy. I want to kill him so bad. I wanted to kill him since I found him in the Grand crying into the fire like a little puss. Okay? When he was like, Joe Orc number 3 model, my grandma's dead, I'm going to cry into the fire. Which, it's cool. Okay, I love my grandma too, but you're the son of a half-demon orc, so...
And it's showing.
Yeah, he's absolutely crazy. In case you haven't caught on, we're talking about Hellscream, the current leader of the Horde. Garrosh, sorry. Grom was his father, who actually was worth a darn. Yep. Not the son that is now anointed with the bones of the monster that his father killed. Way to stand on the shoulders of giants there, buddy. Anyway, so he's been pissing everyone off, except for a few select group of orcs, mostly the even crazier Korkron, which is
just like real politics.
Exactly. He's super crazy, and the only people he can get under his wing are equally as crazy subsect of his own race. So that's fun. So
it's like a North Korea with more political capital, right? I mean,
yes, exactly. Well, with any political capital.
Yeah, completely bananas and like off the chain, but actually blowing stuff up.
I wish for completely selfish reasons, I realize there are so many political implications to this. I wish just so I could laugh at the political climate that South Korea wasn't so close to North Korea, so I could get the full enjoyment of how absurd it is that North Korea makes threats to us And it's like, dude, your jets are biplanes. You're not getting a missile over here anytime soon.
Yep.
Nice sunglasses.
Like anybody else who's been on Reddit in the past few months, it's experienced plenty of that.
Exactly. We are just riding the off-topic train tonight.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to Garrosh. So in 5.3, we're going to get a revolt, which is going to be started by the Darkspear tribe, the trolls. Arguably one of the coolest race on the Horde.
Completely agreed. Yeah.
Darkspear
tribe is hands down like my favorite faction.
Vol'jin
he's such a great hero. Are you kidding?
Man.
He's amazing.
Vol'jin. Yeah.
Now there's a leader of the Horde.
Yeah. Well, from the pre-Cataclysm event where you got to see him like, listen, Garrosh, I'm going to stab you in the back one day, and I'm going to turn you around so you can see who did it. He's talks a big game, and he's finally executing it on. Basically, they said that the Northern Barrens have become the site of scattered skirmishes between the Darkspear and the Kor'kron, as the trolls and players from both factions seek to bring down Orgrimmar's supply trains. This all comes from the PTR patch notes, of course. This is awesome. So does this mean the Alliance are buddy-buddy with the Darkspear for
It seems like there's some sort of relationship developing there.
Okay. Oh, and it looks
if you read a little further on, it kind of...
Yeah, it talks about the SI7 and whatnot.
Yeah.
Direct quotes from the PTR patch notes, they said that the Darkspear trolls are in open rebellion against the War Chief Aegir faction and preparing to rout Garrosh Hellscream from Orgrimmar. So Alliance heroes will scout Orgrimmar's outskirts and engage in SI7 espionage to weaken Garrosh's power structure. I love anytime they get SI7 involved, especially when it's not rogue stuff, because I feel like the rogues are the ones who get all the SI7 stuff. But I don't know, they're cool, man. The first time,
granted, most of SI7 is rogues, but
yeah. Well, the first time in Vanilla WoW, when I was out in the where was it, in the Arathi area, and I just stumbled across that hidden mansion, I thought it was the coolest damn thing ever. So, and since I wasn't a rogue, it was very much a discovery because there was no quest sending me out there. I just thought it was neat. Right. Anyway, the Horde heroes, they directly help Vol'jin's insurgency against the Kor'kron assault, and then they advance towards the Horde's capital. So yeah, this is straight up civil war. I'm all for this. This sounds exciting, and this of course means that we're getting a new daily area.
Yep.
So this is taking place in the Barrens, and yeah, so what are they saying here? So you're going to put a stranglehold on Orgrimmar by undermining the supply chains, yada, yada, yada. You're going to be collecting resources by killing the Kor'krons and other NPCs. You're going to get to group together to kill Kor'kron leaders for bonus resources and escort your faction's caravans across the zone for even more additional resources. The Darkspear Rebellion will reward your efforts to undermine the Warchief by helping you upgrade latent Kor'kron armor into usable gear. And these are basically the rewards from the daily quest area. And it appears to be transmogrify only, and it's old school vanilla dungeon set gear that is hard, if not impossible, to get now. I'm kind of stoked because there's a few sets in here that I really wanted back in the day and do not have. As a matter of fact, my girlfriend was really stoked because she loves that old Druid set and has never been able to put it together.
Oh, cool.
So she might. I if I know her, she will totally jump back in the game just to collect this gear. If they threw a pet in there, you'd be singing her song. Yeah. Especially if it's a cute turtle of some sort. But yeah, I don't know. What do you? Any old armor sets you're interested in getting, Kyle or Ben? You can finally get your old Death Knight set back, Ben, if you deleted it.
Couldn't I do that anyway?
Could you? Not the robe one, the all blue set you get at the end of the starter zone.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah, which you could also get if you did Nax Ramus enough, because it's pretty much the same model.
No, it's different, entirely different set.
No, I still got my BC shoulder wings, so I'm happy. That's all I wanted, and I kept it.
Oh, you're talking about the offset.
It was the offset stuff. I was about to say, are you crazy?
That's it.
Because my warrior had a complete lookalike set, but it was red.
Yeah, the actual Death Knight tier was very different.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. It was that crazy carapace looking set.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool at the time. I
didn't love it, but yeah, at the time it was great.
well, it was the highest fidelity one because all of the others were redos of tier 4.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
Or Tier 3. I think it was Tier 3.
Yeah.
Which granted, again, going back, we're just going to talk about our love for armor sets. The Tier 3 Hunter is still to this date one of my favorite. The Crypt Stalker set. The 4 glowing eyes. Very cool set. I wasn't complaining.
Yep.
So, they broke it down into faction Horde players. You'll be teaming up with Vol'jin, Thrall, and Chen storm south to defend Sen'jin Village from the Kor'kron attack, and then retake Razor Hill from Garrosh's forces. Bane Bloodhoof also joins in along the way, so it seems like there's a strong anti-Garrosh consensus among the other Horde leaders. No word on what's going on with Sylvanas. You think she's going to show up and just nuke the place?
Yeah. It's going to happen like right in the middle of some final climax. You're not going to hear from her the entire time, and then all of a sudden she's going to do some game-changing thing, like right when it's the most poorly timed for everybody else.
Yeah. She's going to come in with the one-liner, "Who's a bitch now?" Because he called her a bitch in that one. That's still going on because that's a level 10 quest or something, where they get into a tiff out in the Ghostlands or whatever. Not the Ghostlands. What's the Ghostlands? That's the Blood. Whatever. And then Alliance players, like we said, you're going to be recruited by SI7 and sent to Durotar. You will enter Razor Hill holding a white flag and eventually meet with a troll ally who places you under her protection while in Razor Hill and escorts you to Vol'jin's encampments for continuing quests. So sweet. We are getting cross-faction play. I'm
not going to lie, the idea of walking into Razor Hill waving a white flag sounds intimidating.
Hey guys, I'm cool. Let's be honest, Razor Hill, not the scariest looking Horde encampment.
Yeah, until all the high-level trolls are there, because that's where Vol'jin is hanging out and getting organized.
Very true.
Right, yeah. You're in the wrong part of town, son.
Man, okay, when I first saw this, I was like, man, why did I ever let Ben talk me into going back to the Alliance? Because now I'm missing out on all the cool Horde stuff, but now that I know I'm not really missing out, I get to still quest with the awesome man himself, Vol'jin.
Well, we don't know if that's going to happen necessarily, but we'll certainly be in the area. And what's cool is that there's actually going to be content for Alliance players in, the Barrens and what's the area called? Durotar?
Durotar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool stuff. So
I'm excited about this. Also, the instanced version of Orgrimmar.
Yeah,
is going to be. Well, obviously, there's going to be parts of it that will be.
Right. It should be interesting to see how they handle that. It'd be kind of cool if they just closed it down completely for like months until the raid was over or something.
I love that.
Like if Orgrimmar even becomes the raid, I wouldn't be surprised if Garrosh relocates to some Pandaren location that ends up being the raid. But
no, they just closed Orgrimmar. Like he fortifies it up and nobody's allowed in or out. I'd love that.
I'm all for it. I'm just saying they could go the relocation route.
Where they don't let any trolls in anymore. The other races aren't any problem.
You just pour them out. Your kind's not welcome here.
Yeah.
What? The droids. Get them out. So it's cool. I mean, we haven't really seen like faction mixing storylines before in World of Warcraft. I mean, coming in from Warcraft 3, there was a lot of that going on, but it's been pretty much open conflict or okay, we're cool. Okay, we're sharing Dalaran, but we're really not working together.
Right. Whereas
sure, not to racial cities or anything like that. I mean, we've always had the bad guy's too tough, let's team up every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but it's never sort of sincere in any way, shape, or form. This is a dramatically different relationship just because of the nature of like the Horde faction functionally being subversive to Garrosh. So it changes the sort of political climate of things pretty dramatically. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And just interesting to see what the status quo of the two factions is after this is over.
Yeah, exactly. Or even what I'm curious for is on the raid. So we'll go around the table. Who do you guys think is going to be the kind of the person landing the killing blow, so to speak? Like, obviously, we're going with the raid. The heroes are going to kill him, but there's always usually a character from Warcraft lore who goes alongside us. In Icecrown, it was Tyrion. In Black Temple, it was Maeve. Who do you think deserves to land a killing blow in Garrosh?
Ooh, Vol'jin or
Jaina.
Yeah, Jaina. I could see Jaina
He
getting vengeance.
melted everyone she loved.
Yeah. Chen Stormstout is going to be there.
No.
What do you mean no?
He's going to be there, but I don't think he really has much of a reason to want Garrosh dead.
He doesn't seem the killing type.
Except for the fact that Garrosh functionally, is possibly an embodiment of the Shah. I believe there's one Shah left that's unaccounted for or something like that, is what I've heard.
Oh, that's so going to be, yeah, I'm sure it'll, because...
Yeah, so there's certainly that tie-in. Plus he brought all this destruction to Pandaria. And, like, the Veil, for instance, gets destroyed by him. So I could certainly see him having an influence there.
True, but Pandaria is not his homeland. Because he was from the Wandering Isle.
Right. But clearly he's going to have an influence there, though.
Right. This is quickly becoming the nerdiest conversation I'm going to be having all month. But yeah, he was...
or what's his name? Oh my god, I'm completely blank. The other guy who's friends with Vol'jin. He's a Tauren.
Oh,
Bane Bloodhoof.
Bane, yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, well, Bane Bloodhoof is certainly going to have a...
Yeah, in Tides of War, Bane and Vol'jin are the two most outspoken critics of Garrosh's leadership. But Bane is much more pragmatic, whereas Vol'jin is definitely a man of violent action.
Yeah.
Like, he's a warrior through
so
and
much.
through.
Like, just flavor-wise, everything about the trolls in general, and Vol'jin is easily my favorite. He's just such a great character.
Yeah, he's great. They need to redesign the trolls, so I like playing them. Because Vol'jin makes me want to play a troll, but they're so damn ugly.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I know, Kyle, you're probably just sitting there like, deal with it, man. They're the coolest race in the game.
Yeah,
Sure.
You're the tallest race. You got your big old tusks, or you can have little tiny tusks if that's your thing. But I love them.
Oh, yeah.
Big old mohawks.
If we were Horde right now, there's a decent chance I'd be a troll.
Weren't you a troll when we did play Horde?
Yeah, oh yeah, my priest, totally.
Okay, gotcha.
Well, you got Hex of Weakness back in the day. That was the shit.
And now you have a haste buff, which is even more the shit.
Yeah, haste buff is pretty sweet.
Pretty good, especially for Shadow Priests. I think it's the best race for them.
Yep. So, anyways, there's a lot more to read about that. We just kind of hit all the interesting points, but go check out the official site for all the other skinny.
I kind of wish Garrosh was the one taking us to Outland, though. I mean, I feel like he's gonna definitely die and be the one that is the big boss for Pandaria and its land. But it'd be cool to have a straight transition back into Burning Crusade.
I think we should. They should institute actual time travel through the Caverns of Time. We pull Illidan back through from the past where he's not crazy, and he leads us in.
Illidan kills Garrosh.
No, I'm
Got it. Nailed it. That's
leading
just
us to Outland.
land to killing blow.
But okay, all right. I just want more Illidan. Damn it. He's so freaking cool.
Illidan and Arthas team up
To defeat Garrosh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they start making out, and oh god, this just became fanfic.
Yep, it might have. Yeah. I'm looking forward to this, though.
Yeah.
The one thing I sincerely hope for is that Garrosh has no redemption.
No, I hate him so much.
11th hour, I'm so sorry, I was under the control of a Shah or something like that. I just want him to be the bad guy, and then he's going to die. It's not... I don't want him to have any redeeming qualities.
Well, if you remember back leading up to the release of Ice Crown, people were kind of speculating that Arthas would redeem himself.
Right. This is a very sort of, Darth Vader-ish.
Right.
Right before my death, I will become a good guy again. And that works in very select cases. And in this case, I really hope it's not.
Well, Garrosh never was good to begin with.
Yeah, that's my point.
He was a wuss crying to a fire, and then he was just a raging jerk for the rest of forever.
Yeah, but there were sort of the Garrosh apologists who, for a while, were like, yeah, but he's a noble, tribal warrior or whatever.
Garrosh apologists, I love it.
Yep.
No.
Now they're backpedaling like crazy.
Yeah, CNN's getting on there with their Azeroth politics. They're like, Jaina Proudmoore steps back from her previous statements 3 years ago in defense of Garrosh Hellscream. Oh, come on.
Bloodhoof tries to make Children's Week 3 weeks long.
That is so druid of him. I am sick of his.
No, that's just in the ticker at the bottom.
There you go. Man, that would have made for a good April Fool's Day episode of This Week in Blizz. You're just sitting here and doing a whole episode about the politics of Azeroth. Anyways, there's also been some data mine 5.3 patch info, lots of stuff over on MMO Champions. Some of the more interesting stuff. Shadowpan and the Augie Celestials, the dailies are no longer going to have a faction prerequisite to be revered with the Golden Lotus.
Oh, thank God.
Alts everywhere rejoice.
Yeah.
Because that Golden Lotus rep, man. I don't care even if I have the buff, which does make it go fast. I never want to do another Golden Lotus daily as long as I live.
It's so artificially increasing the length of content.
Yep. Yeah, it really freaking is. Some battleground changes. Picking up an Alliance or Horde flag while in a rated battleground now increases damage taken by 50% for characters who are in tanking specialization, and increases damage taken by 20% for characters in non-tanking specialization. The big modifier here is ranked battlegrounds, because when I first read this, I was like, oh, come on! The whole reason I play Warsong Gulch is so I can go in as a tank and live through absurd amount of damage. And I read, rated. Wonderful. Okay.
I like this. I think that's cool. I think like having a higher like turnover is makes for a more interesting game.
Oh yeah. I mean, if it even was spectatable, it would be a much better watch as well. I think maybe they're just changing this for the GMs, so when they're in between replies, they have something interesting to watch.
Hop into a battleground and see how people are doing.
Yep. I'll be interested to see if that stays. 50% seems a lot, even if you are in tank spec.
I think tanks probably take 30% less damage than. They're basically trying to make tank spec a not a smart thing to do here.
Gotcha.
Because it's very specific. I mean,
yeah.
Well, it's not fun. Having a guy who doesn't die and deals no damage is not the PvP experience.
I don't know. I always
clearly you have not PvP'd against a lot of prot warriors recently, because my goodness.
I was about to say, I've always really, really enjoyed prot warriors in capture the flag scenarios, because it becomes awesome, and you've got 8 guys bearing down on you and 1 healer on low mana. There's nothing in the game quite like it. It's
much
cool.
lockdown.
Yeah, man. Shockwave for the win.
Yeah.
Creatures that are outdoors in the world and are level 90 and above now have a chance to drop lesser charms of good fortune. Hooray! Because I'm completely out of these damn things.
You should do the. Lesser charms of good fortune are, of debatable worth now, at least on your main, because it's. Wait, these are lesser charms. So that means you can actually trade them in for the tokens that you would use in Throne of Thunder, correct?
I have no idea. I didn't know you could.
Yeah, you would be able to. That's great.
Okay, didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's tremendous.
Nonetheless, I'm still completely out of them. Even my alts could use them.
Yep.
Healing spells that automatically select targets will now all prefer players' targets with the lowest health. Good.
I'm not sure what exactly is this affecting, because most healing spells that just shoot heals in random directions have this already.
Yeah, I think most do, but not all, and this makes it so that all AoE heals that select specific targets are now smart heals. And if you combine that with the next statement, which is players with full health no longer count towards the cap for area of effect healing abilities and spells, it becomes very important.
Ooh, that's wonderful.
Yeah. So that hand in hand works together. You don't have a lot of wasted heals and over heals when you don't intend them to be.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So stuff like Circle of Healing already does this, to my understanding.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a good change.
Yeah.
It just brings all the other spells into alignment with it. I don't know which ones particularly were suffering from this, but I'm sure they were out there.
Yeah. Well, what's a more important change than this? Titan's Grip now will eventually work with polearms and staffs.
So awesome.
Nice tweet there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now will also eventually. Wait a minute.
Now will also. This is not verbatim, but yes, it's just poor writing on my part. No, this is multiple tweets from Ghostcrawler on the subject.
I am so stoked. I want a strength pole arm so badly, like you wouldn't believe it.
Oh yeah, I want to.
And this finally opens that up.
I want to
So
be able to
basically-
transmog to my sweet-ass Glaive of the Pit I got off MacTheridan from back in the day.
Yep. So basically,
Oh.
the rationale so far has been that they don't make strength polearms because basically there wasn't the animation in the game to handle it properly.
Right, there's no one-handed polearm animation.
Exactly.
They're a unique animation.
Exactly. So now that they're finally adding that in, that's tremendous, which means we'll finally have the addition of strength polearms, which I'm very excited about.
Or
And
dual-wielding
staves.
staves like the most badass version of Donatello the world of Ninja Turtles has ever seen.
That just sounds awkward, but I imagine they will share an animation.
Yes. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be the same, because in shape,
Can you imagine a strength staff? How cool would that be?
be interesting.
Yeah.
It'd be very interesting.
We probably won't see that. The only reason they probably have staves tacked on there is because they'll share an animation with polearms.
Yeah, and I think Warriors can still pick up staves or something, so you could transmog it.
Right, exactly. So you could potentially transmog a polearm into a staff.
Right.
But from a lore perspective, they'll probably keep polearms be strength or agility, and staves exclusively agility or in.
Yeah.
So it's very cool.
Yeah.
There's some badass staffs out there and incredible polearms. I can't wait for this. Because now, I haven't tried this yet, but with the current patch, you can actually transmog one weapon type into another, correct? Can you do like a mace into a sword?
Is that this patch, or was that coming up in 5.3 as well? That might be this patch.
Might be this patch.
I
haven't
think it might be
tried.
this patch, which if it is, that was something I was very excited about and then forgot about and haven't taken advantage of, and I need to get on that immediately.
According to the chat, it is live.
Okay.
Okay, so that brings up
I know what I'm
excellent
doing
point.
after the show tonight.
Yeah, so you can turn your, two-handed sword into a staff if you wanted to.
I hate maces so damn much, and that's what I have on my Retribution set right now, so I'm going to transmog that into a sword.
Oh. Apparently the weapons need to share animations, so it's kind of a weird thing. So you could do a sword to a staff, a sword to a mace, but you could do a polearm to a staff, but not cross them.
Right. Exactly.
Which is a shame.
It's sad. It's an oversight. I mean, these animations were put into the game at the beginning.
I'm sure the animation is affected by the attack speed of the weapon. And if you had the same attack speed on a different animation, things might go awry.
Oh, I could see it like some really fast daggers or something, and big old polearm flailing around.
Yeah, exactly.
It slices, it dices.
And now it's a staff. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
You're going to love these nuts. Also coming at 5.3 will be an in-game browser. Don't get too excited, though, because it's only for support purposes. This is basically for the purpose of accessing online support articles on the Blizzard support site.
That's cool.
But I'm sure some kind of add-on will break this and allow you to just, surf your Reddit while you're playing WoW.
Yeah.
So good stuff. Careful while surfing and streaming on Twitch. Make sure you're not looking at any CD websites. That's not good stuff. Not saying I've done this personally. I've just heard stories.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and who knows
there's
what links
it's
might
introducing-
eventually be posted.
It's also introducing a whole new level of liability for rating. You were reading the internet?
Dude, check out this kitten gif. It's sitting in the sink and it totally doesn't know that the water is on. It's wonderful. Anyways, moving on. Rewards for heroic scenarios and daily challenge modes have been updated and whatnot on the 5.3 PTR. Basically, the rewards from heroic scenarios have been changed to 120 valid points for completion and 30 points for completing the bonus objectives. Originally, it was 50 for the baseline and 90 for the bonus.
Yeah, so this dramatically takes the stress off of, completing the bonus objectives.
Yes.
It basically becomes cool, if you're with a competent group and you do it, and not the end of the world if you don't.
Yeah. And up fast, though. I mean, if you do it consecutively or consistently.
Yeah.
So it's good stuff. It's still enough that I'll want to try.
Right.
So.
But more importantly, you'll earn a heroic cache at the end of it, and it will have a chance to contain an epic 516 item level piece of gear. So
that's really good.
Yes, it is
really
better than
freaking
Throne of
good.
Thunder. Granted, this will be after after Throne of Thunder, obviously it'll be in the next patch, so it'll be curious to see.
Right,
And one thing that we've been talking a lot about, setting up the tension between Garrosh and everybody else. But I don't believe the final raid is coming in the next patch. It'll be the one after that. I'm assuming.
It's not. This is not a raid patch, and they've come out and said that.
All right, I bet I wouldn't even be that surprised if there's a filler patch between this one and
like a BG or
the
something.
final raid. Yeah, sure. Well, this one has arenas and BGs in it, doesn't it?
I don't believe so.
New arena, the Tiger's Peak. New battleground, Deepwind Gorge.
Okay, never mind. I was going to say who cares about new arenas, but I do care about new battlegrounds.
Yep. In the new battleground, situated in the Valley of the Four Winds, the Alliance and the Horde continue the war for Pandaria's precious resources. While the two factions battle for control over mines, they must also protect their own resources from being stolen and turned against them.
So Arathi Basin 2?
Sounds sweet. It's my favorite map.
I'm all for it. Man, nothing like levitating off the freaking lumber mill and casting skills. That's like glide over gold mine. Yeah. Or not gold mine.
Rocket boots, son.
Rocket boots. No, I just melt up
Seriously?
and levitate, man. I don't even know rocket boots.
Well, you can get all the way to gold mine, I think, from lumber mill.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've tried. Anyways.
With rocket boots again, I mean.
Gotcha. Oh, I bet with the
It's
new
that much
glider,
faster, yeah.
I bet that's really easy. The new glider parachute mod. Anyways, I stepped away from engineering for a long time, and now that I'm back on my hunter for the first time
so good now, man.
Since
So
Lich
good.
King. Yeah, no, it's wonderful. It's still the stupid rocket boots malfunction way more than they used to. It's really kind of pissing
Trust me,
off.
I've used them in raids and stuff and been like, oh no.
It's really irritating. No other.
That's because it's not your perk. It's not your profession perk.
I don't care.
You want more stuff for free.
It's the reason I don't
penalty.
I don't give a flying crap about cogs. I wanted the tinker, and I want those tinkers to work.
It's the glove tinker. That's the important one.
Well, whatever. You know how excited
If you're not using it, you should be, because it'll be like.
You know how excited I am? Ask me how excited I am about that.
Well, have you looked at the stats on it?
I don't care. It's numbers, man.
It's like having an extra trinket.
I want fire to come out of my feet. I want to run fast, and I want to fly through the air and teleport.
It's basically what it is. It's on-use gloves. How cool is that?
Meh.
It's also the best profession in the game right now.
Meh, don't care.
For DPS.
Well, I bet you everyone in the guilds we're about to talk about have that enchant on their gloves. Some community news here. Raiden is down and down again. The heroic only boss Raiden was down twice for world first kills. Once in a confirmed bugged kill by a group in China that was followed by a quick hotfix by Blizzard, and a for reals kill by Method in only 2 attempts.
Does anybody know who the Chinese guild is? It's not Stars, is it? It's some other.
I couldn't find anything, no.
Yeah. Also, some Chinese characters. I'm like, yes, I understand. No, I don't.
Yeah. That'd be great.
But Method did an excellent job and killed it dead.
Do you think Blizzard has a permaban button where 2 guys have to turn a key, open up a plastic cover, and hit the button, and that Chinese guild is just permanently wiped off the map?
I think high-level rating tiers do this way too much for them to be permanently banned.
Exploit bugs.
Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah, sure. But, the other part is, how sure are you that this is a bug?
Do they really? Because, a lot of people, when there is a bugged kill, a lot of the people figure it out and then don't give a crap. And it's like, okay, well, who's the first person to do it legitimately? Right.
Exactly. But, there's been a couple of temporary bannings in the past.
Yeah. Yeah, I think around Lich King there was a wave of that. But, I don't know.
A dead boss is a dead boss.
I disagree. I don't give a crap if you just found out that, hey, if I take my pants off and dance with a gnome who has his shirt off, it ports me into the sky where I cannot be hit and can therefore shoot as much crap as I want. And also, for whatever reason, it buffed me to doing 1,000,000 damage per second. I don't give a flying crap. You cheated. I don't care. I don't want to watch your kill video.
Yep.
No, this doesn't matter in a group game like World of Warcraft, but certainly in some classic arcade games. Hey, if you found a bug that gets you to the end, that's something else, and you saved yourself about $20 doing it.
Yeah, there's also no hot fixing on an arcade game. Let's be clear.
Hey, man. Hey, you open those things up. You can hotfix all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, the Blizzard van comes pulling into your driveway.
Yeah, all right, we got our arcade cabinet of Lost Vikings. We've got our patch 1.0 chip here. We got to plug this in. Okay, there we go. Oh, the server's down all day.
I would not be surprised. Right?
What's a server? You'll find out.
This arcade game now requires an always-on connection.
Man, I don't have that many AOL discs. What do you want me to do?
Hey, technically a lot of them did. They didn't have any memory. You unplug it once and it's gone forever.
Oh, yeah. Were you ever, like, really sad where you get a high score and then you go back and, like, it had just been wiped?
Yep, because I was a kid and I couldn't go drive out and buy myself a memory card, so I had to leave Gex 64 on all day while I was at school.
I've done that. I've been in your shoes.
That's great.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's so great. Anyways, that wraps up the World of Warcraft news. Grats method. Let's talk a little, and I do mean a little, StarCraft. Well, not much StarCraft news this week, guys. If you're interested in what Idra had for breakfast or the latest little bit of drama concerning WCS, you might have something to read over on Reddit. But other than that, the only real official update we've had is Blizzard releasing an extensive amount of documentation on the custom observer UI on the map builder website SC2 Mapster, including their source files for the custom UIs released with the Heart of the Swarm launch.
This is really cool, but every single one of these that I'm looking at is not better than the default UI.
Just about to say, wind it up, Ben, go!
It's just, I mean...
I hate them all. I hate these.
Yeah, they're really not better, I'm not going to lie.
They're all crap. The only thing I kind of like, and I'm not sure if I really like it, is having the color-coded production bars on either side. I kind of like that just because...
Yeah, that works, but that's still basically the default UI. I mean, like, there's the little score toggle thing, which is kind of cool, like, especially if you're in a series, like a best of 7 or whatever.
Yeah. Chat room, I don't care if you like GSL's new UI. It's wrong, and,
Yeah, it's wrong, and you should feel bad. Because, I mean, frankly, like, okay, so there's an expectation that comes with playing the game where it takes a while to decipher the UI. If you've never played it before, you kind of go, oh, okay, so that's the control groups down there. That's the different commands I can execute with this unit. These are the buildings that are in my main screen, and like you get to learn it, right?
Right.
You take all those elements and you just mix them around. It doesn't make for better UI. Like, how is this an improved experience for viewers? I mean, the only thing they're encountering is an unfamiliar UI that Blizzard UI designers have not slaved over every pixel, right? Because that's what's happened. Now what we have is, go on.
There are two important things, though, that they have done here. I agree with most of what you're saying, but making the minimap larger and removing the large bar at the bottom of the screen. As a watcher, that shouldn't be there. That's useless.
Why is it useless?
Well, I don't need to see, Joe Marine's face moving back and forth because I know I'm selecting him.
Sure, to an extent, but on the other hand, when I do see something selected, like I'd like to see what it's building. I want to see, like I kept encountering situations watching the GSL recently where I was like, I want to know X piece of information. Like I want to see if he's like the guy had a barracks selected, and I couldn't tell what was being built. I couldn't tell what was being queued up, if anything. Was he queuing 5 Marines, or was he queuing, was he executing it perfectly? What was going on?
We're going to get emails on this because you can see what's being built.
Yeah, sometimes, but not always. That's my point. No, I want to see, his control groups and stuff like that. Like, I want to see those kinds of things. And there's just pieces of data that are missing. I know sometimes it shows you, a little tiny unit portrait on the actual building itself when it's been selected, but it's not always there.
If you open up this link on SC2 Maps and you scroll down the new features where they have everything labeled A, B, A, C, C, D, E, etc. The F box. Look at the F box.
Right.
So you can always see what's being built there if a unit producing facility is selected.
Right.
But even all that aside, even all the complaints that you just mentioned, for the most part I agree with, I think it's also just butt ugly.
It's not pretty, is it?
If I tune in to ESPN, if I'm watching a football match, Do you think that all their graphics are gray boxes? Do you really, and that they're awkwardly stacked? I also don't like the bigger mini map because it's weird now. It's like monolithic.
Yeah.
It's this weird box that has no flavor to it at all. I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
So,
What I would certainly like to see is I would like to see situations where we can switch between UIs. I know there's been a little bit of that going on, and I don't quite understand how versatile the UI is. But like being able to see, for instance, like being able to clear off that big bottom bar when there's a big battle going on, I can totally see being an important aspect of this without having to, make the entire UI empty like they have to do sometimes.
Right.
So I'd like to see some stuff there, but I feel like a lot of the design elements that are involved here are they're basic by necessity of having to be modular. I don't think they make for a better experience, though.
Right. Agreed. Not a fan. Kyle, tell us we're wrong.
You guys aren't wrong. It's butt ugly. But, I mean, it is exciting that these steps are being made. However, I would prefer that different UIs were being set up for different situations. And
Yes,
Ben's right.
totally.
Right now, you can't. I mean, what I want is that big battle happens, and we know nothing is going to happen for the next 30 seconds. And then we can make that mini-map full screen, and we draw on it, and we talk about it, and we have things to talk about that's part of the game, rather than, what actually happens, which is, well, we don't have any control of what we're seeing at the moment here, so let's talk about X-Men on stream.
Right. That's to an extent. But on the other hand, like, let's say we're watching a battle unfold. Sometimes it's super important to have the minimap up because all of a sudden you see two red dots, like, traveling over into the other guy's base, and you realize, oh, he's dropping at the same time in, like, 4 different places. This is totally going to change the outcome, right? So it's a really tough balance to meet, and it's important that this gets explored. But right now, I don't think it's in sort of a genius place. Like, I really am not like super impressed with it in its current state.
Agreed. I'd rather personally, I'd just rather have the stock UI.
Right. I don't know how much of that is our personal preference, like just because we're used to it. Like I get that may be a big aspect of it. And there's certain parts of the new UI that I like layout-wise that make sense.
You know what I
Like,
love? I love
what?
the random floating action buttons.
Right, that makes no sense to me, and it just looks ugly. Okay, so you look at that, and you look at the footprint that it takes up. It's not. I guess it's a smaller footprint that it ends up like consuming, but it's not better. Like it's not. Yeah.
It just makes no damn. I don't know.
Yeah. What I do like is the top. I like the fact that you've got one player on one side and another player on the other side, and their resources and their food are split up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that.
I like that. I like that the production is on opposite sides. I think that's a clever innovation, in the sense that it makes it very clear, very quickly, like who's doing what. There's nothing worse than watching it. Go on.
You need those things all the time so that if you show up late, you can still be into the game too.
Yeah, who's winning? Oh, he's down like 50 food. Damn, he must be getting stomped. But he has a mineral advantage. Okay.
Right, but even if they switch from production or units lost or current military units or whatever it may be, like I like that to appear on opposite sides of the screen. It makes a lot of sense in that context.
Right.
Because having them appear on the same side of the screen can make it very confusing, especially if you're in a mirror match.
Yeah.
Like just as an observer going, now which one is Tasia? Is he red or blue?
I've been having that issue the whole time. It was red and yellow, by the way. And I was just like, I kept thinking Tasia was red, which was
Tasia
fantasy.
is yellow.
Yeah.
For the record.
Tasia is yellow.
Speaking
Tasia
of
also
which-
a total baller. You know
Yep.
what else is baller? Group D of the Code S of the GSL.
Unbelievable. You know who else is a baller? Fantasy. You know who else is a baller? True. And Congo.
Best group ever in the history of GSL? Maybe.
Possibly. Did you finish it?
No, not yet.
Oh my god, it gets so
I know,
much better. It's
I
not
know,
even
I know.
funny.
I don't care. That opening TVT between Tasia and Fantasy, oh my god, chills up and down my spine.
Dude, the losers match is hands down my favorite thing I've seen in the GSL. Probably ever. I'm not sure.
All right.
I've
only
never
had
been
enough time.
that involved in a game.
I had to watch it. I had watched it on my lunch today at work. So once lunch was up, I kind of had to get back to work. So I couldn't keep watching.
I
But
figured.
oh my god, damn! Did I want to? So
Yep. Yeah, so if you guys are, occasionally skipping groups or whatever, go watch Group D. It is so well worth your time. It is absolutely incredible.
Or if you're listening and you're like a WoW fan and you're like, what's this esports crap? Just go watch a GSL game. Just give it a chance. It's some cool stuff. Some very cool stuff.
Yep.
Anyways, that's pretty much all we've got for you guys this week. The show went longer than I expected, probably because we were so delightfully off topic.
Mm-hmm.
And that there's two artists on the show that just like to complain about how ugly this new line is.
Yeah. Sorry to whoever hardworking individual out there actually come up with this thing, but it doesn't have the same level of finesse that the original UI does.
It's gonna take time.
It's simply like it
doesn't look like StarCraft.
No, well, I don't know if that's necessarily the case. It just looks stock. Like it reads a lot like a lot of the default looks that you can get with a lot of WoW add-ons.
It's actually a really good point. My WoW game looks ugly as crap, but that's because art bar add-ons I found so far are so cumbersome to use that I'm like, fine, screw it. I'm just going to have floating bars. I don't care anymore. Right. But I would never want to use that for a major money tournament.
But I mean, understandably, a lot of this is an artifact of time investment, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, if you look at the way the bars are made, they're very sort of low cost, low time investment to actually make the graphic assets that are involved in this game.
Right.
Like, they're very easy. Almost anyone who's got any knowledge of this kind of thing can put those together. It's not super involved. There's not an entire UI team behind this that's been slaving away on this, trying to make it look graphically perfect. Because, I mean, when you're in the game, it has such an influence over your gameplay experience that it's so vitally important that it really be pixel perfect that this just doesn't feel like it. And I feel like the same level of attention to detail needs to be applied to the viewer of esports because it can make it better or worse.
Agreed. That's probably the best. That's probably the most well thought opinion stated so far on this subject. So we'll wrap it up there.
It's ugly. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's ugly. It's bad, and you should feel bad. Write us at thisweekinblizz@gmail.com. Give us your thoughts on the custom observer UI.
Yeah, if you love it, please tell us so. Please tell us why.
Make it GOM orange if it's on GOM. Just something. Give me something.
Oh, no. Can you imagine?
Like, brand that shit. Man, come on.
Oh, they branded the maps enough. Have you been watching GSTL?
Yes.
So, jeez. Yeah. Sometimes it's like it's really cute and works really well. Then you see a giant one, and then actually you're like, oh, no.
It's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Does this guy play for Prime?
Anywho,
it's a clever idea. It's just poorly implemented.
Yeah. That brings us to the end of the show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the off-topic ramblings. Big thanks to you guys who left us 5-star reviews in the iTunes store. That was one of you. Thank you to Rude Sam. Rude Sam is what I'm going to call him. Thank you very much. If you haven't left us a review and you listen to the podcast, please leave us one. It really helps out the show. This Week in Blizz is a production of amove.tv. Make sure you head on over there and bookmark that. You can see many other fine shows like The Gamers In, StarCast, or our new show, The Campaign Roundtable. We'll be recording here tomorrow at 6 p.m. Check it out. You can see more about This Week in Blizz at thisweekinblizz.com. You can catch us live every Monday night right here at 8 p.m. Eastern on amove.tv/live. Follow us on Twitter. Listen to our ramblings. I'll be on there like, I just beat BioShock. Look at the picture of my sandwich, because that's what you do on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about what games you beat and take pictures of your food and put a sepia tone over them.
I've been so bad at Twitter lately. I feel like I have a lot of great jokes, and I share them with the people present. And I don't want to be like, ha! Click on it.
Look
click,
how clever I am.
Yeah.
What
on the internet?
What was the joke I made today? Oh, I made a joke. I since I beat BioShock, I just started Tomb Raider, which I'm loving. I wasn't really expecting. I was like, okay, I'll just give it a shot. That thing, the joke I made today, Tomb Raider gave me a raging Indiana Joneser. Yeah.
It's not.
Okay. So there's that. Follow us on Twitter at This Week in Blizz. You can follow me and my terrible jokes at Garrett Art. You can follow Kyle and his not as terrible jokes when he tweets them at Kyle Ferguson. Follow Ben at Pixel Garbage. And that is about it. Kyle, where can people find you?
You can find me also over at Biggest Fan Podcast, where we follow the fad that's driving you mad. And this week, I'm being driven mad by Transformers. And let me just say that those movies are awful. More opinions to come.
I really enjoy those movies, but I know they're awful.
Oh my goodness! Like everyone is so sweaty. Michael Bay must have just showered him off. It
Hose them
looks
down
like
before they start the shot. You know.
yeah. I mean, it looks like the two main characters. What's his face, Annoying Pants, and what's her face, Venereal Disease.
Wasn't in the third movie.
They look like they went for a roll in motor oil. I guess that makes sense. Transformers, there's cars running around, but check out Transformers Prime. I'm loving that show. It got a little ridiculous. They're trying to sell some action figures, clearly, with some upgrades. I mean, what are you gonna do when you've already had a Megazord for 2 seasons? Well, you bring in the White Ranger to sell his outfit. So.
My favorite part of the Transformers films, can you guess what it is, Kyle? It was that the new actress that was in the third movie, because What's-Her-Face got kicked off, was apparently so integral to the part, and Michael Bay respected her so much that instead of opening up with a shot on her head, it was a shot of her ass for about a good 30-second lingering shot.
Yep, but I have respect for Michael Bay now because he said, what's so wrong with, and this is a quote of his, what's so wrong with making movies for teenage boys? As well, at least he acknowledges it. And
absolutely nothing.
Is it wrong that I enjoy the movies?
Well, you were very much a teenage boy in a lot of senses, so that doesn't surprise me.
Oh, well, thank you, Ben. No, they're bad movies, like really bad, and they do over 75% crap on my childhood. The rest of that is taken up by, luckily, they got real Optimus Prime, and that voice actor is just so awesome that he takes the last 25% for me, but...
But that's an excellent point. Guilty pleasures shouldn't be a thing.
No, I do. Oh no! I don't believe in that at all. I play Lady Gaga loud and proud in my car, and that's not a joke.
But I've never heard that statement, and that's a very interesting one because it puts a lot of things in context as far as the making movies for teenage boys.
That being said, I'm horrified that he's making a Ninja Turtles film. Because that Transformers I really liked as a kid, but Ninja Turtles was like my freaking religion as a kid.
It's already shot himself in the foot. I mean, you've heard that they're no longer Ninja Turtles mutated by ooze, right?
Right. He's already dead to me.
What are they?
They're aliens from outer space.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. Let's go get Ong and bend some fire because we can't make our own. Yeah, we're on the train here for another Last Airbender.
That's awful. From space, really?
Let's cast nobody but white people for a movie that should have very, very different races. Let's mispronounce the main character's name, even though we have 4 seasons of it being pronounced correctly. And okay, anyways, I'm done. That movie's so bad. Please die in a fire. M. Night Shyamalan.
That movie is pretty second. And that's not even like guilty pleasure bad. Like, that's just bad. It's just not very good.
Sin against God.
Hey, if you want to enjoy yourself, and actually these are 2 related topics, M. Night Shyamalan and Michael Bay, look up Michael Bay graph explosions, and it is an interesting read on the money per explosion Michael Bay makes. And in fact, in each movie subsequently, his explosions have gone up, and he's made more money. But in order to make as much money as Titanic, he would have to have over 8,000 explosions in his movie.
Yes, do it. Just 2 hours this is excellent. Up. Oh my god. That's
but
wonderful.
It also shows the decline of M. Night Shyamalan based on twists per money.
Yeah. Anyways, God. You know what doesn't blow up? Our sponsors' products, doghousesystems.com and tweakedaudio.com. Use our code TWIB, TWIB. That gets you double memory on your next Doghouse Systems gaming rig, which you already get wonderful customer service and some of the best damn gaming rigs on the planet. I highly recommend them. It's what I'm streaming on right now. It's what I play all my games on. And that thing is chewing up and spitting out BioShock and Tomb Raider, so I'm quite the happy camper. And if you get one, it'll be much newer than mine, so it'll probably just... I don't even know. Like, Laura Croft will appear in your room, and honestly, who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want? Hopefully, she won't be covered in blood. She is dirty in the new Tomb Raider. They beat the crap out of that poor woman.
Yep. But that totally sells me on it. Like that makes it so much. Yeah.
I had no interest whatsoever in the original Tomb Raiders, any of them. I've actually seen more of the movies than I played of the original Tomb Raider games.
I think I played the second one a bunch.
I played like 5 minutes of the first one and was like, huh, yeah, I always
I
wondered what
remember
it'd be
getting
like
stuck in some location, like by a rock, and I couldn't figure out how to jump from one platform to the other, and it just took forever.
controlled like a tank. I don't understand it. Anyways, that's that. That same code, TWIB, will get you to 30% off and free shipping on your entire order from tweakedaudio.com. They make noise-reducing earbuds. That's all they do, and they do it very well. They come in many different styles, many different colors. I like the wooden ones. They're very fun. I enjoy them. Pick yourself up a pair, or pick yourself up many, many pairs. Doesn't matter. That code gets you 30% off and free shipping on your entire order. As many times as you want to make orders, and they come with a lifetime warranty. So check them out, tweakedaudio.com. I thank everyone for their support. The Island is the best Michael Bay movie ever, and I'll see you gentlemen next week for episode 53. Have a good one, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Take care.